October 2024, oilfield witness visited the Energy Transfer Keystone gas plant in the Permian Basin. We're joined by Susanne Wong from Oil Change International.
So this site will process the gas, compress it in the compressors, and put it in their pipeline to send it to the Gulf and then to an LNG terminal.
LNG is liquefied natural gas. To sell Permian gas overseas, companies liquefy the gas by cooling it at extreme temperatures. In polluting export terminals along the Gulf Coast, companies load massive vessels with the LNG and ship it to global markets, especially Europe and Asia.
As people become more and more concerned about the climate, the oil and gas industry is on defense right now. Like, they realize that the window is closing for oil and gas extraction. So they're basically using this window to convince the public, to convince governments to produce and import gas, and to try to convince people that gas is part of the energy transition, when it's exactly the opposite. Gas production is fueling the climate crisis. It's harming communities and ecosystems.
The fossil fuel industry wants to sell LNG on a global market to continue profiting from drilling in oil fields like the Permian Basin. As the Asia Program Manager at Oil Change International, Susanne has researched the global financing of LNG. I ask her which countries are involved in this process.
The key exporters of LNG, well, the U.S. is the world's top LNG exporter, and it's doing that primarily for corporate profit. Japan, for most of the last 50 years, has been the world's top LNG importer, and basically since 2008 has imported more gas, more LNG than South Korea and China combined. While Japan wants to be a climate leader, it's heading in the wrong direction. Japan is driving gas expansion here in the U.S., across Asia, and globally. Japan has been involved in the LNG trade for decades and are trying to convince governments across Asia that LNG is part of the energy transition, when in reality, it's derailing it.
The only reason that any of this is happening is because the whole world has been told that natural gas is clean. The only reason that they can say that is because it's invisible and you can't see all the pollution coming out everywhere. If you could see it with your bare eye, then none of this would be happening, and we would already be using wind and solar and hydro and living in a clean air world.